Dogs hadn't been disgraced by the two top teams in the last 2 weeks, and in fact led Carlton at three-quarter time when they last played at home. North were humiliated last week by Geelong, but had Blight, Hodgman and Kelly back. On the eve of the game, a press story broke that a consortium of businessmen were offering a package deal on Brownlow medalists Kelvin Templeton and Peter Moore worth $1.2 million over 5 years. They were reported to be prepared to challenge the league's clearance rules in the court to win their services. Well, the loss of Templeton would be a huge blow to Footscray and could see the club in turmoil. He was under some pressure and certainly attention and found it hard to get into the game. We joined Peter Booth and Jeff Leake 18 minutes into the first quarter.
Just hovering at centre half back, about a kick behind the game. Really good kick. Hodgman underneath it and takes a good strong mark.
That was a good mark. A lot of thought that in Hodgman's play, who's playing full of confidence throughout this game, in fact throughout this season. He's had a good start. 3 kicks and 4 hand passes, and Hodgman up to the centre half forward position. Malcolm Blight in the middle of that pack. Here's Egan having trouble picking up. Strong tackle put on him. Loses possession of the ball. North Melb again through McDonald to Schimmelbusch. He lines up and boots. And the scorers are behind to Schimmelbusch. And North Melbourne leading 19 to Footscray's 8.
Nearly 20 minutes in the first quarter. Looking for Reid. Knocked on by Cracker. Chance for, who's that North Melbourne player? Kelly. He put his hand up to his eyes as he kicked the ball, much to say, well, I better see where I'm kicking it with the sun in them. He's offline and put it through from behind.
Well, the ball kicked back into play, but it's a short shot out towards Reid. Goes for the handball. I felt that was quite foolish. To Conning. Dunstan. Burton. Long kick. Love's in good position. Good mark, Love. Moved out well. Out pointed Holden then. Knew he was going to take it. A goal here for Footscray would be very handy indeed. They're trailing by 2 goals. Malcolm Blight to kick 2. It's bending in well. Oh, that's a lovely goal. Lovely goal with Terry Love. That's a real confidence builder.
A good bounce by umpire Dagobal. Dempsey wins. Hodgman tackled high. Free kick. Good long kick. Blight interfering with the Footscray player Groenewegen. Groenewegen's free kick. Blight not happy about the decision, but the umpire side onto it beautifully. Dunstan. Wheeler. Or was it Jennings, in fact? Runs his fair share. Now a chance for Beasley. Through his fingers. Law. Oh, good tackle by Whitten. McCann gets a call from Gregg. He's in trouble. Flicks it over very quickly. Taken away by Hodgman again. He's played extremely well. Davidson gets a call from Dunstan. Oh, he's got butterfingers today. Jennings skirting the boundary line. Has a long time to have a look. Beasley, this time. At 55 metres out from goal, Simon Beasley. Conditions absolutely ideal. Little or no breeze. Oh, there's plenty on it. It's back to back. It's a goal.
Well, Footscray's Beasley's first kick, a long one, has resulted in a goal, and it's drawn the score at 20 points each. And North Melbourne into attack, but it's Hawkins for Footscray with that long looping handball out to Reid. Can he boot down and pick it up? Now Abernethy gets in there. Good shepherding by Kelly. Lets Abernethy boot it. Louis Hampshire, a kick behind play, was upset, didn't take it. Good attempt there by North. Hawkins again, but Hampshire recovers. Looks for a smaller player. Finds Dunstan, who always gets billions of kicks. Bad handball to Conning. Jennings on the end of that one. Back to Dunstan, and Footscray fiddling, but the kick by Dunstan back towards Beasley. Dent's with him. Dent's got it. Beasley after it. Holden to Henshaw, who dropped it. Oh, but came back and tapped it on to Glendinning. Picked up by Whitten, but Glendinning will take the free kick.
Dempsey calling for it. Off. A typical high, not all that long Dempsey kick. McDonald misses it. Hodgman. No leads forthcoming. The man behind is good. The mark wasn't, though. The attempted mark wasn't good. Wheeler. Hodgman. North's best player this quarter. Phil Cracker's been pretty quiet. They're coming from everywhere. Oh, beautifully out of trouble. On to Hodgman. Fires for goal. Won't make it. Blight. Goal. Great play by North Melbourne. And the ruckman running to get there. Dempsey and Reid. Throw in favours Dempsey. Down towards Hodgman. Rides the bump okay. Good hip and shoulder. Taken away attemptedly by Davidson. North Melbourne player being held. It was Malcolm Blight. Footscray supporters not on good terms with the field umpire over that, but a fair way away, but it seemed quite obvious from our broadcasting point. 55 metres out, it's holding up, it won't make it. Now good. No, the man in front will be paid. No mark at all. It goes to Kelly. Greg without the ball will take the free kick. Now Bluey Hampshire saying, what about the mark? Kelly 15 metres out. Kicks a goal.
North Melbourne by 14 points at the 5-minute mark, second term. Good ruck work there by Hampshire. Knocked there by McCann. Holt was kickless in the first quarter. There's Kelly getting into a bit of the action now. Oh, Jennings. Wheeler, rather, was it? Wheeler had booted out of... No, it was Jennings. Picked up by Edmund to Beasley. Pushed by Dent. Beasley not so good on the ground. Dent's playing him from behind as well. Goes out and tackles a Footscray player. Pushes him in the back. It's Egan, is it? No, it's Cordy to take the free kick. It's Keith Gregg's opponent.
The lead by Templeton ignored. Beasley doubling back. Cordy, Edmund. Edmund might be the only one I think who can get it, but it's a North Melbourne mark in defence. Yes, it's been played to John Law. There's been a change with Bronner Wigan going off the ground for Footscray, and Bruce Reid has taken up the appointment at fullback on Malcolm Blight.
And parents, come on. As North Melbourne in full flight at the moment, coming down the wing. Oh, gee whiz, they're running strong now. It's Abernethy. Malcolm Blight. Oh, push Reid in the back. Reid takes the free kick. Now, they just made the switch. Wigan off the ground. Reid to full back to try and curb Blight. I don't know how anyone can try and do that. And Reid, well, looking strong in this piece of action. Oh, that's bad. The Conning goes down, thumped. And led to Donald McDonald. He really hooked that one, and it's a behind after that free kick from McDonald.
North Melbourne by 15 points. 9 minutes in the second quarter. And maybe the score is not a true reflection of the match so far. Hawkins gets a call from Jennings over the top to Dunstan. Butterfingers today. Oh, that's a bit better. Good long kick. Beasley leading a long way out. Got hands to it. Henshaw. Gregg. A ton of space out there. Holt. Blight dropping back. That's his target. Blight, he's got his eyes on it. Oh, on his chest. Bounced off his chest and over the boundary line for a throw-in. North Melbourne 5-6, Footscray 3-3. 10 minutes into the second quarter.
15 points. North in front. Dempsey and Hampshire in the ruck. Hodgman. Oh, he just can't get through a nest of players. Oh, Dempsey has a shot. It sailed through a goal. It happened as quick as a wink.
North Melbourne 42, double Footscray scored 21, and Gary Dempsey just scored a very alert goal for a big man to put North Melbourne double Footscray score. Kelly, Cracker, Holt. Oops, had it spent. Support. No, he's going to do it himself and make amends. Good little shepherd through. He has. It's a goal. Good goal by Holt.
North Melbourne running away in this second term to lead by 27 points. Dempsey and Hampshire clash. That was Alan Jennings getting his boot into it, kicking it forward. Fairly easy mark there to McCann, centre-half back. What a beautiful kick, though. Centre-half forward, they fly, swatted over the back. Hodgman in the position here. Lunged after it, lost it, still in control. Schimmelbusch in to help. Has a shot. Bit of right spin on it. Bit of wrong spin on it, and he's booted it through from behind.
North leading by 28 points. Bruce Reid. Comp not being paid. The man in front is going to get it. Kerry Good. Long way out. Blight says kick it this way. Oh, it's going to drop a bit short to no man's land. Blight will get there first, I think. Here he is. Or left it for Cracker. Support nicely from Abernathy. Lines up from 35 metres out. Spears it through for North Melbourne's 8th goal.
North struggled to a 7-point lead at quarter time, but they kicked 7 goals to 2 in the second quarter to tie it up by half-time, leading by 41 points. A further 8 goals in the third quarter didn't help Footscray's cause. Blight, coming back after missing the last 2 rounds through injury, kicked 7, Good 3, Holt 3 and Glendinning 3 goals apiece. And for Footscray, Whitten kicked 4 goals, 3 each to Beasley and Edmund. Probably reflected by their respective spending power, was plain to see on the field. Footscray coach Royce Hart gives his account to Peter Booth.
Too much start. That was our number one problem. We couldn't win the ball at the contest, and we had North Melbourne players, or left North Melbourne players away out on their own and made no attempt to pick them up. And it was just one of the basics of football that if you're not good enough to win the ball, you've got to pick up your opponent, and we didn't do either.
You had a burst of 5 goals there in about 8 minutes in the last quarter, then Templeton went off. Why did one of your key players go off the ground?
Well, he was injured. That was the only reason he went off, and, you know, we were going well at that stage.
A lot of players seem to come in and out of the game, say Ted Whitten, who was very quiet for quarters 2 and 3, and then kicked, 3 goals in 4 minutes. I could probably mention others, but how can you improve their consistency?
Well, I felt that for 3 quarters, Ted didn't run anywhere near enough. He was only contesting the ball that came into his area, and once he started to move round, and once we started to kick the ball long and move the ball down there quickly, and Ted running to the pack really gave him a chance to bring his ability out, because he's got great natural talent, and it's no good wasted just standing around.
Well, 1982 was to have been a year full of promise for you and the club. What's the future now?
Well, we've just got to improve on what we did today. Like, our form over the last couple of weeks was encouraging, and I suppose you can say that the last quarter was encouraging. We sorted a few things out in our forward line, which will go into the match against Fitzroy, and I'm sure there'll be a lot better performance there. As I said earlier, that we didn't pick up the North Melbourne players, and if you're not winning the ball, you can't afford to have loose players running that round, and we'll certainly work on that. And now we've got to get back to what we were a couple of weeks ago, and I thought there were encouraging signs there in the last quarter, even though I was terribly disappointed we got beaten.
What about the form of Simon Beasley? 23 goals so far this year. A performance that are you happy with?
Well, 23-30 something he's kicked, which is, if it had been, I suppose, 35 goals, maybe I would have been satisfied with it. But I don't think he's too far away from being a very good player, and like the last quarter again showed that we had a bit of system between him and Jimmy Edmund. That made a big difference to our forward line.
Well, Royce, good luck for the remainder of the season. I'm sure all football fans would hope that Footscray win more than they lose in the run home.
Thanks, Peter.
Footscray still on the bottom. And
Cracker.
Meanwhile, at the Western Oval, the battling Bulldogs were trying to avoid their 6th straight loss as they hosted the Roos.
Good play by North Melbourne. Glendinning overran it. There's Turco. Oh, giving Blight every opportunity. No, he's staying back for good. He stayed down, Malcolm Blight. He's kicked 5. Kicked by Glendinning, and that's North Melbourne's 3rd goal in 3 minutes of this third quarter to wrap up the match. A very consistent performance since quarter time by North Melbourne. They scored 7 goals to 2 in the second quarter, and now it's 8 goals to 2 in the third quarter. Dunstan puts Footscray forward. Edmund. Good tackle. Hampshire. Davidson. On to Jennings. Oh, there's a couple of them there. Teddy Whitten. His second goal in 2 minutes. That's Footscray's 11th. Jennings to centre half forward. Oh, a big crush of players. Edmund onto Whitten. That's his third goal this quarter. Now Shimmer goes for a long pass right up towards Good. Gets a bit of a push in the back. The ball scooped out to Hawkins. Plenty of pressure there from Hodgman. Still pressure from Hodgman. He wins out Hodgman. Well played. That was good play by Kim Hodgman. Across to Turco. Onto Good. Good gets it, centres it towards Blight. And that's brilliant play by North Melbourne. Bruce Reid with Dempsey this time.
North Melbourne in complete control all afternoon. Malcolm Blight starring with 7 goals.
Hand pass further on to Schimmelbusch. Up towards Blight. Oh, he leads Groenewegen underneath the ball. He's got it in the forward pocket. This will be a great goal if he can kick it. Oh, he's kicked it. What a goal by Malcolm Blight. Oh, unbelievable.
Ground, they never seem to correct the mistakes they made from weeks gone by. They're very loose when the ball goes out of their forward line. There's Malcolm Blight, who kicked 7 goals and 7 behinds and kicked a couple of out of bounds. And he is a master at positioning his body and taking that mark from behind the pack. And a lot of people were critical of the way he does it, but he doesn't get penalised for it, so you play within the rules. And he was a magnificent player yesterday. Footscray, they continue to give 3 and 4 passes, hand passes. They give 1 hand pass too many. They kick short from the forward line. That's Ted Whitten, who in the last quarter gave Footscray a bit of a flurry by kicking 3 goals in rapid succession. He didn't have a great influence on the game, but that was a magnificent goal. Now, there is a fantastic player, Abernethy. He played in the centre for on the centre line for North Melbourne as a very accomplished player. Kerry Good, you just saw take a mark there. They've got a very good goal attack, North Melbourne, with Blight and Good. And of course, when Phil Carman gets over injury, he'll be an acquisition to the side. There's Templeton, who is playing, and I hope he was injured yesterday, because if he was playing and he wasn't injured yesterday, well, his form was shocking for a man who is the captain of the side and an ex-Brownlow medalist. There's a fantastic kick for goal by Malcolm Blight, and that, of course, is the beauty of Blight. He can kick goals from any angle on any foot, and that's why he's so unpredictable. Footscray, you see their game, that they hand pass the ball, but they really don't have any direction. For example, if I was playing for Footscray and I was did not have perhaps the skill of the other sides, the first thing I'd try and do is kick the ball as far away as I could from the opposition goals. But they short passed the ball off kick-outs. They had the ball intercepted and goals kicked from just very basic and fundamental errors. And I'm very disappointed with Footscray's play, because they're the most undisciplined side, as I say, you'd see for many a day.
John, a player that is only his first game back for, I think, for 3 years. They brought him over here as a rover in Turco.
Yes, I was going to mention him. He came onto the ground and kicked 2 goals, and full credit to him, because he took a couple of nice marks and to kick those goals. And for a man who was given away by the club, just shows you what persistence does. And I thought it was a great tribute to him that he played the football he did yesterday.
One of the goals we saw in the clips there, and he was pretty happy about it, was from Gary Dempsey. You don't very often see him kick a goal. But what did you think of his form yesterday?
Dempsey played very well yesterday. He had a bit of opposition from Bluey Hampshire, who seemed to lift against his old